For the last 25 years, donations from Epoch product sales have accounted for more than $13 million donated to the Nu Skin Force for Good Foundation. To enhance our giving opportunities and deepen our impact, the foundation grants funds to our long-term charity partners and invests in global giving initiatives. For example, one of our charity partners, Feed the Children, an integral part of the Seeds of Hope initiative, has planted the majority of the 650,000 fruit and baobab trees in villages all throughout Malawi to give local communities food and a renewable resource. And another partner, Ecology, has already saved more than 1.4 million acres of some of the most vulnerable ecosystems on the planet, benefiting indigenous and island communities. Ecology is an integral part of Nu Skin's mission to be a force for good throughout the world. Its founder, Dr. Paul Cox, has a unique lifelong passion for learning from the past to help the future. To find out why Nu Skin joined forces with Ecology, let's hear directly from the founder himself, our own Nu Skin Scientific Advisory Board member, ethnobotanist Dr. Paul Cox.
Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Cox. I'm excited to talk to you about ethnobotany and the role it has played in the discovery of the Epoch products. Ethnobotany is the study of how indigenous people use plants. One of the reasons I've loved it so much is that I love people and I love plants. And boy, if you like those two things, you'd make a good ethnobotanist. My dad was a national park ranger and a state park superintendent. My mother was a scientist. I got to grow up in some wonderful places. I love plants. My wife, Barbara, sends me flowers. I think I'm one of the few men in the country whose wife regularly sends him flowers. We communicate through the language of flowers. She knows how much I love them. When I was a little boy, I used to pray every night that God would bless the flowers and trees, bless the animals that have no voice, do everything they could to help protect our world. I finished up my college degree at BYU in botany and philosophy. I won a Fulbright fellowship to the University of Wales, where I studied with one of the greatest rainforest biologists in the world, Paul Richards, and then won a Danforth Fellowship and National Science Foundation Fellowship to do my master's and PhD at Harvard University. I worked mainly in the South Pacific and South Asia islands, but I was trained in Middle America and South America. I've worked in those continents. I've done a lot of work with Native Americans in North America. Had some exciting times in Scandinavia with the Sami reindeer people way up in the Arctic Circle. I've spent some time in Africa working, so it's just been a great experience for me. But my dream as a little boy was to save plant species, to save forests. Later, as I became really so enamored with the indigenous people, it was to help them build schools, hospital, medical clinics. So there were some wonderful healers that I apprenticed with to teach me how they use plants for healing. Epinesa Mawingoa, Pelalilo, others helped teach me their traditional healing systems. When I started noticing how even the elderly women had beautiful skin, long, silky, beautiful hair, I asked them, how is this? Some of the healers I was studying with were over 90 years old. They said, well, we're using plants. You haven't asked. So I started looking at some of the way indigenous people use plants, and this led to the Epoch line. Epoch combines generations of indigenous wisdom with cutting-edge modern science to produce these wonderful products. I'd published a scientific paper. I was interviewed and invited by several of the world's largest cosmetic manufacturers to meet with them. They were very kind to me. They had amazing laboratories. I mean, one of them picked me up in a limousine that was bigger than the whole apartment we had at Harvard. But then when I said, how can we return funds from these products to help the indigenous people? They said, oh no, our lawyers won't allow us to do that. I was very discouraged, and a friend said to me, well, have you heard of Nu Skin? I said, well, I've heard of it. I don't know much about it. They arranged for me to meet two of the founders, Blake Roney and Steve Lund. And when I asked them if they could help send money back if we made successful products, they said, well, of course. That's why we're in business, to help people. And to prove this, they invited me to their convention. It was really scary. There were like 15,000 people in this basketball stadium in Salt Lake City. I was supposed to give my speech. They gave me a big check to build a walkway through the Folly of Lupo rainforest so the people could get tourist money without ever cutting a tree. And that continues on today, so I was very grateful. In fact, Steve Lund came all the way to Samoa to cut the ribbon on that walkway. It was such a great thing to meet these wonderful people who have a company, and their dream is to help people live better lives. What a great thing that was for me. Let me just say this, I'm not a business person, but my real belief is that Nu Skin is a company that makes dreams happen. They give business opportunities to people. It's been so wonderful for me to meet the distributors and see the wonderful things they're doing. Barbara and I thought it was really a lifetime achievement for us to build this one school in Folly Lupo. Because of Force for Good and Nu Skin Epoch products, we've been able now to build 300 schools, hospitals, medical clinics in 65 countries around the world. These schools are built and the people promise to protect their forest or their coral reef. It's been just such a wonderful experience. And for me, the exciting thing is that every time an Epoch product sells, 25 cents goes to the Force for Good that not only funds these projects I've discussed, but many other good things for children throughout the world to improve their lives. I'm so grateful that you've accepted me as an ethnobotanist in your company. It's been so great for me to be with such terrific scientists. The founders are terrific. And the thing that's really surprised me, I guess I should have realized, is I've had such pleasant experiences with the distributors. I'm so grateful for the great work you do. So grateful for your support of the Epoch products and Force for Good. So see you next time. Thanks so much.